is a 3,000 RPM blip. That is a 7,000 RPM blip. Another angle, up close, about 3 feet away. 3,000 RPM blip. Hello everyone, this is Tienan and Wings of War for FT86 Club members. We are now testing for the Nameless Axleback Exhaust. This has the custom overpipe.
It's a high flow catted downpipe.
High flow catted downpipe.
Yeah, and the axleback.
And the axleback. Alright. So now we're going to go through some twisty roads here during the day. Just to get you a feel of how the exhaust sounds and feels in cabin. So here you can see that we're at 3,000 RPMs and it seems pretty quiet to me. Got that nice sporty growl to it. Hopefully you guys all heard how nice that sounds.
Especially at freeway speeds, the wind noise is actually louder than the exhaust itself, so it's not droning or anything. It only really sounds loud or, aggressive when you're really jumping on it like this. That's the only time it really sings. And after about 4,500 RPM, it starts to taper off a little bit too, so it doesn't deafen you or anything like that. It's really loudest probably right at about 2,500 to 3,000. Kind of in that torquey area, the low end torquey area.
So let's talk about that torque dip.
Yeah, so you can definitely feel it. There's a little bit of a lull kind of in that mid-range. Mm-hmm. For daily driving, it's not too big of a deal because you do have a lot of torque down low. You don't really need to downshift a whole lot or upshift to really get it because you have it on tap pretty well whenever you're just cruising around. And one thing that when we were doing testing with the intake, the Nameless intake that they developed, a lot of that torque dip did go away. So I'm pretty excited about seeing what kind of intake designs we get and seeing that torque dip really go away, especially when tuning comes out as well. We're going to see some pretty interesting things happen with that torque dip.
And now with the exhaust, how does it feel? I mean, like, I know that you've experienced the torque dip when it was stock.
Well, it's smoothed out. It's less herky-jerky in the torque dip. At stock, it was kind of like, and this might have been a break-in issue a little bit, but it wasn't as smooth. The exhaust definitely smoothed it out a little bit. It might not give much more power, but it's definitely smoothed it out where it doesn't feel like such of a you mm-hmm. feel kind of a gliding where it kind of glides down a little bit and then it kind of picks back up at about 4,500 or so. You can definitely feel that smoothness to it. And it's also interesting too because you can definitely tie it to the sound of the exhaust a little bit better, which is funny because the exhaust is the loudest in the middle of the torque dip. And then you feel the exhaust kind of gets quieter when the torque dip goes back away. Mm-hmm. So it's a little counterintuitive there, but it is kind of nice. You get extra feedback out of the exhaust sound. Sounds nice and aggressive. It's not very loud. We're able to still hold a conversation in here during when I'm wide open throttle, So that's nice.
Yeah, I noticed that. You just be like flooring it and go, oh, let's
right.
have a conversation.
There's the 2 mufflers. They're 5-inch custom-made designs from Nameless Performance on the Axleback, and they decided to keep the stock mid-pipe with resonator because they did fabricate up an aftermarket one, and it just made the car sound really loud and rappy and annoying, and it didn't make any power at all. So they're recommending people keep their stock mid-pipe and go with an Axleback downpipe combo, or ultimately probably headers, because the first catalytic converter is sitting there in the header design. So that's what they're recommending right now, and I think their Axleback will start going on sale in middle of June. But until then, I believe you can do pre-orders for it, which I would recommend. It looks a little higher quality than some of the manufactured stuff. Nameless does all of their builds in-house. They're all handmade, so